Hello, my name is Ann Fenton. I'm the University of Nebraska Extension Educator in Pierce County. Today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. My segment is staying alive, and really it's important when you go off to college to really think about how you're going to take care of yourself. Mom and dad or your caretaker is no longer available to help you feed yourself, to get you a snack, or whatever you need. You've been probably taking care of yourself for a long time and getting some food. Sometimes you drive through places and sometimes you'll just pick up a snack at home, but now it's completely on your own. First of all, we think about eating according to My Plate. My Plate is from the USDA, and it talks about what's the best nutrition that keeps us healthy. If you notice, fruits and vegetables take up half the plate. That's something we really need every day, but we're really not very good at getting that. In fact, across the United States, of the 5 servings we're supposed to get, most people only get about 1 a day. So we really need to amp up the fruits and vegetables. That's where most of your vitamins and minerals come from. The second thing you need to think about are the grains, which is up here in the corner. The grains are whole grains. You can eat about half of your grains, whole grains, every day. And those grains are important because they give you the complex vitamin B, minerals that we need, and it also gives us the fiber that we need to keep us healthy. Down at the bottom is the protein. The proteins are the meats and those types of things that really help you build muscles. You're young people and you've got a lot of muscles, but you need to keep those muscles in shape. Finally, we also talk about dairy foods. So dairy foods are those things like milk, yogurt, ice cream, all of those things fit into the dairy group. In the dairy group, we need to have about 2 to 3 servings per day. And again, we're not great at dairy. So we need to think about what are all the things that we need to eat throughout the day. We also need to think about water. So this is an 8-ounce glass of water, and we really should be getting about 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. And that's on top of the juice, the pop, all those other things that we drink. Water is very, very important, especially on days when it's hot or windy or you're just not feeling as good as you think you should. Make sure you drink some water. You know, it's important that you eat every day. Sometimes you get really overwhelmed and you kind of forget to eat. There's so much going on, but it's really important that we have enough nutrition to keep our bodies in healthy shape. So we talked about eating. Let's think about exercise. Exercise is not just hiking across campus, although that is a good thing to do. Exercise also involves being really consistent about getting movement every day. In fact, about once an hour, you need to get up and move around. It helps your circulation, it helps your brain, it helps you keep going. So those late nights when you're studying, set an alarm. About every 50 minutes, get up and walk around for 10 minutes. Even if it's just walking around your room or stretching or going down the hall for a drink, whatever it is, just get up and move at least once an hour. That's really going to improve your studying. So I talked about late nights, going to bed. You know, as you get to do what you want to do, nobody's telling you, hey, get to bed, you need some sleep. That's all on your own. But remember, you need about 8 hours of sleep every night. All adults do. Now, some of you will say, well, I can do on less. And some of you will say, oh, I need a little bit more. You've got to figure out your own rhythm. But really, staying up all night, it messes up with your circadian rhythm, and that is not easy to reset. So now you're sleeping all morning, and you're staying up late at night. You need to think about when the sun goes up and down. When the sun's up, you should be up, and when the sun's down, you should be down. And that doesn't mean you have to be in bed, but it means that you need to start thinking about that your body starts to need to relax and that you need some sleep and you need to do those things to take care of yourself. There is a lot to do to take care of yourself, and it is a daily thing. It's not one and done. You've got to do this for the rest of your life to maintain healthy habits and to feel good. I hope you choose a healthy lifestyle and can live a healthy life.
Welcome. My name is Jason Mersney, and I'm the security manager for Wayne State College. Welcome to Career Day. Staying Alive is a session, and I want to talk to you about healthy lifestyles and some of the things that we're seeing in the world today as far as drugs, alcohol, addiction, things along those lines. Currently, all of you are at a time of your lives where you're starting to make some pretty strong decisions on what you want to do with your career and where you want to take your life. And so these things, the decisions that you make today will eventually hold on and affect you down the road, potentially could affect you down the road. So a little history about myself as a security manager from Wayne State College. I graduated from Wayne State College with a security management degree, and I came back to work for the college in this role, and I'm very happy that I did. I've had the opportunity to help young adults and watch them grow and mature, and that's why I do this. Had the opportunity to help a lot of young kids mature and grow. So, some of the things that we see in college life as you start to grow and change your paths in life. One of the things when you get into college is schedules will become, in some aspects, a lot looser, so time management is going to be a big issue for you or a big challenge for you. So you start to tie in drugs and alcohol and social life and things like that. You got to find a balance between those things. And as we know, drugs and alcohol are prevalent in the campus culture across the United States. So it's going to boil down to choices that we have to make. And I have to say that a lot of those things are intertwined right now in your high schools and junior highs. And what we see is alcohol, marijuana are drugs of choice in the campus population. And a lot of prescription drugs, we see issues with those too. And so it takes a concerted effort upon an individual to make healthy choices in their life. Addiction is a forever thing, and what I mean by that is that when you listen to addicts talk, and you look at the science and you look at the studies with addiction is a disease, and it is a very hard thing to overcome. And so when you listen to an alcoholic talk or a drug addict talk, they will tell you that they're addicted for life. And that is very true. So when they go into recovery and they talk about the things that have got them there, the lifestyles, their choices, many of those things were very risky in the beginning, and it was hard for them to turn away. So again, it boils down to you as a young adult to make the correct choices and make positive choices. Surround yourself with positive people. Negative things will bring negative things to light. Positive things will bring positive things to light. So your circles that you hang out with will have a big influence on your life down the road, in your friendships, in your career, and some of the things that you're going to do. I mentioned earlier that mental health is becoming a big issue today, and quite honestly, it's one of the top topics that we talk about on a regular basis. We have a behavioral intervention team on our campus that monitors things like these issues, and we do everything that we can do to help these individuals. But mental health, again, tied to anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. And then again, as I mentioned, you start to intertwine alcohol and drugs with those things, and it can become a complicated mess. And so again, we're here to help and want to do everything that we can. But again, that takes the individual to help us too. So again, being involved with things, whether it's going out for a walk, whether it's hanging out with some friends and just having a good time, doing positive things. What happens with the drugs and alcohol is we start to chemically change our bodies. When it happens, especially with drugs, the methamphetamines, the narcotics, the synthetic drugs, the real trendy drugs, MDMA or ecstasy are things that are in high demand by young adults. Ritalin, Adderall, things of that. When those things are abused, negative things happen. And so we all possess chemicals in our body, two in particular, serotonin and dopamine. And I talk about this quite a lot when I do these talks about the effects that occur with those chemicals in our body when we're under the influence of alcohol, we're under the influence of a drug. And so serotonin is what controls our mood. And the reason I like to bring this up is, again, I mentioned the behavioral or the mental health issues that we see. So serotonin controls our mood. It's what brings us up and what brings us down. It controls us. It makes us happy. It makes us sad. It's everything about you as an individual. So as an example, if we were to ingest ecstasy or MDMA or a synthetic drug along those lines, those drugs, or what that does is that flushes all the serotonin out of our body, or gives us a big chemical dump is what it's called. And so you do feel really good, you do feel really giddy, you may feel at ease, it might slow you down. It depends on you as a person, the chemical makeup in your body. But the other side of that is now your body's becoming unbalanced as far as a chemical makeup. And so your body fights that, and then when you start to come down off of your chemical high, then you can be very irritable, you might be tired, you might sleep all day. So those are some things that can happen, and it's the same way with marijuana. Marijuana affects our dopamine. Dopamine, again, is kind of one of those mood behaviors. You've ever heard of the dopamine high or the dopamine blues. That's what that is. And so I call it this myth or this influence on the body that the marijuana will slow you down. Well, yeah, it might slow that nervous tick down a little bit, but what it's also doing is you're ingesting other harmful chemicals into the body that will have side effects, and eventually, again, the body gets kind of out of balance and it doesn't know which way to go. Especially if a person is taking like a antidepressant, or you're taking Adderall or Xanax to help with anxiety, to slow you down, to help you. Those chemicals, you got one that's trying to bring you up and one that's going to take you down. So there you have the imbalance, and there you have issues making decisions, mental health, again, along those lines. So some things to think about. Again, it all comes down to choices on what you want to do. And some things that I see, I think, have a positive outlook and try to do positive things and try to have a positive attitude. You'll hear a lot of things for those of you, for all of us as a matter of fact, but especially in the sporting world, the coaches will tell us, positive attitude, have a positive attitude, guys. And what they're trying to do is instill confidence in you. And so I see a lot of that. We need to build more confidence in our young adults and in all of us, for a matter of fact. I think if we go into a situation and we have confidence in ourselves, whether the outcome is going to be a good one or whether the outcome may not be what we desire, if we at least go into it with a shot saying, hey, I can do this, then you have a better shot. But if our confidence is not high, then yeah, we're going to struggle at that. So again, attitude is everything, and I say that quite a bit. Attitude is everything. I mean, when I was talking about that serotonin or the dopamine blues, or especially the serotonin high, as an example for you to show you what the natural serotonin high would be, is for those of you that are involved in sports, whether football, volleyball, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, and let's say it's in the bottom of the ninth inning and the game is tied and you come up to bat and there's 2 outs and they're counting on you to get on base, but you hit a home run and the ball flies out of the park, and you see the batters and they throw the bat and you jump up in the air and they may hoot and holler or whatever it is. That's a serotonin high. That is at that time, at that batter hit that ball and he or she watched the ball go out of the park, and they jump and they run around the bases. That is a serotonin high, and that is what's making that person really, really happy at that time. So can you imagine taking a pill that will do that 10 times over and just flush your body continuously with that serotonin, and eventually the nerve endings in your synapses, they fire all the time, they get out of balance. Okay, so that's what a serotonin high is for you. So in sports, if you want to get high, then let sports be your high. If you want to go hunting or fishing and catch the biggest fish, let that be your high. If you want to go on a run and run the best that you can and feel the best that you can, let that be your high. That's a natural high, and that's positive for you. That's healthy for you. Drugs and alcohol are only excuses, and drugs and alcohol will only bring you down further and further as you get into it. We know alcohol is prevalent with young teenagers and young adults. We just can't manage it. And so what I mean by that, it's not about drinking 1 or 2 beers. It's about totally getting lit up and drinking a case. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not the way to go. Alcohol poisonings happen all the time, and the last thing that mom and dad want is that call from law enforcement or for somebody that, hey, your son or daughter didn't make it. You see accidents involving alcohol, what sad situations those are for both parties, And so you have to remember, when you make decisions along those lines, whether it's to drink a can of beer or whether to smoke that joint, whatever it is, to take that pill, to chase that high, you're letting yourself down, you're letting your mom and your dad down, you're letting your friends down, you're letting your teachers down, you're letting your support system down. And like the first person I mentioned was you. That's the most important part, is you. You can only control what you do. You can't control what everybody else says or does about you, but you can control everything about you. So again, I talked about having that confidence, and there's nothing wrong with being that person at the party to watch out for others and to be that designated driver. That's what it's going to be. Don't be afraid to call mom or dad if I've had a little too much. Mom and dad probably want that call anyway, and that's a good learning moment for everyone. But at least you're safe. Another thing too with this is sexual assaults and dating violence. It's a huge, there's a lot of this going on in schools, rural America, urban. It's just, I want to say this is just not an urban thing, or it's not in any one area. This is happening across the world. And so again, this goes back to that confidence thing, and having confidence and building self-esteem, and that you don't necessarily have to drink with people just to get along, because a lot of things will happen. Guys and ladies, it's a respect thing for each other. It does not have to happen. No means no. We know we have to have boundaries because things can happen and then we may regret it. And so again, when we ingest alcohol and we ingest drugs, we are not making sound decisions. We don't function properly physically. We don't function properly as a mind. We are not there. We are not there. So we need to be very, very aware of that. In high school settings, junior high settings, we see these things. You just watch the news and you can hear the assaults and things that are going on across the world. Bullying is another issue that will come up forever in my mind. The thing I got to say about bullying is guys, this stuff has got to stop. You have no idea what is going on in the life of the person sitting next to you, whether you're at the store, whether you're at the game, whether you're wherever. So please don't hurl insults. We have no idea what is going on in our lives. There's lots of things going on. And so bullying only makes these things worse. And now it is so easy to bully somebody socially, online. We see a lot of that, and we try to stop it right away. And what we need to happen with the bullying is, I can stand here and I can tell you all that I want about bullying, but we need leaders to step up to the plate. We need you as young adults to stand up and talk to your peers and say, hey guys, ladies, we can't do this. You know your peers better than anybody else. So we will help all that we can, but we need you as young adults to step up to the plate and be the leaders. And that's what we need. We need confidence in you. Once it comes from you, I think it just spreads, and we can give you all the advice and we can give you all the help that we want, but it depends on you to carry the torch and for you to carry out what you need to do as young adults. So in closing this, what I would have to say to stay healthy, to stay alive is a couple easy things. And make sure you're eating and drinking, make sure you're sleeping, exercising. Do whatever you can to keep yourself fit. Don't smoke. Please don't smoke. Please don't vape. Vaping is we're finding all kinds of studies now that vaping is just much harsher than what we think. And just to kind of back up a little bit about smoking, just so you do know, nicotine is the most addicting drug out there. It rivals heroin. It rivals any of the narcotics out there. I want to thank you for your time, and stay safe.